What looks really fun but in fact sucks? You know those remodeling shows where the homeowner takes a sledgehammer to one of their walls? The first swing is fun, all downhill after that. Swing the hammer, uncover more dry rot and add 2 days and another $6,000 to the job. Repeat at least 3 more times. Working in a pet store, I hear it all the time, from adults and kids alike. Wow, you must have a lot of fun working here, and because no one wants to hear about why my job sucks, I grin and agree. People think I just play with animals whenever I'm not helping someone. In reality though, poop everywhere. 95% of my job consists of poop in one form or another, whether I'm cleaning cages, picking up after a customer's dog, or siphoning fish poop. Then there's death. When you deal with 100 plus animals altogether and thousands of fish, you're gonna see a few dead things. Then there are the things that are worse than death. Hamsters will usually leave their siblings alone when they're young, not as adults. Never keep 2 together, but I've still seen some half-eaten faces. Hamster butthole prolapse is a thing, although very rare. One time, a turtle straight up decided to eat another turtle's eyes out of its skull. I've had a couple creatures I'd grown attached to die in my arms. When it's not the animals, it's the customers. It's still retail, and you still deal with all the crappy retail things. You have to deal with crappy customers who are pissed because the fish company only decided to send you 6 of a very popular fish, and you're all sold out. Customers who look down their noses at you and your advice, even though they're coming to you with dead fish. Customers who get pee off because they already have the dang reptile, and what the frick do you mean they need a $30 light or else it will die a painful death. And, of course, you can't forget the one completely crazy woman who demanded that I refund her dead 20-cent goldfish and threatened to take legal action because we don't guarantee the fish that are meant to die being fed to other creatures. Don't get me wrong. The 1% of my job that consists of working with awesome animals, and sometimes adorable kittens, is really freaking cool. And it's great to help someone, especially if they're receptive and appreciative of your help. But it's not as fun as it looks on the outside. Pet care department high five. I once had a lady ask me if Jesus would save her fish. I told her not unless he was planning on siphoning her tank. Working on special effects on a big blockbuster movie. You're in a small studio that is constantly panicking about going out of business. The work is long and tedious, and 75% of the time, the renders fail because someone didn't flip a switch or failed to check in an essential file. They have dailies at 8 AM and 4 PM. You get notes from the 4 PM dailies at 5 PM. These notes require you to make changes that will show up in the work that will be reviewed in the 8 AM dailies the next morning. That means you have to work late, till 8, 9, 10 PM. You aren't part of a union, so you don't get paid overtime, and nobody's going to complain about it because 300,000 other young art school grads are willing to take your job for less money anyway, and 10 times that number overseas wants to take your studio's entire project for a quarter of the price. It's always pitch dark where you sit so you can see the fullest color range. The people you work with are mostly smart but are burned out. People drink too much. The pay is not very good if you add up the hours worked. A barista makes more with tips. New Year's in New York City to watch the ball drop. Every time I hear someone say they are doing that, I'll laugh at them and say, have fun with that. They look at me like, wow, he's crazy. It is going to be so much fun. Then they come home miserable. I couldn't find anywhere to go to the bathroom. Find somewhere to get a drink. Get a table. Find my friends for 2 hours. Get cell phone service. Find a cab. Get home. It's super freaking cold. People don't realize this. It's horribly cold. Go find a party where people are inside and warm. Paying $20 to do 3 laps in those crappy, underpowered go-karts. Seriously, they look like race cars, but are limited to like 400 revolutions per minute and 5 miles per hour. The ones by me shut off as a penalty if you get hit others. I did it once and then decided I'd rather just drive on the freeway for a few mims. As a kid, it was movie-based video games. At first you are thinking, sweet, Jurassic Park, I get to play as a dinosaur. Then you realize that it's just companies trying to milk as much profit as possible by selling crappy mechanics, graphics, and story by riding the wave of the movie. Then you laugh under your breath every time you see a movie based video game, and laugh even harder when you see a video game based movie. Freaking moon shoes. Those things are up in the running for the most disappointing part of my childhood. Hooking up on a sandy beach, or in hot tub. Water and sand are the worst lubricants. Video game testing. Everyone thinks it's just getting paid to play video games. To an extent it is, but nothing will ruin a good game faster for you than QA testing it. Worse than that, nobody seems to realize that bad games have to get tested too. For every great game like Borderlands or FIFA, there's an equally crappy counterpart like Power Rangers or Mary-Kate and Ashley, and they have infinitely more bugs to find. In the end, it may be playing video games, but it was still work. Shaving. As a kid I would watch my dad shave and I always wanted to do it. Now I freaking hate it. I prefer looking homeless over shaving every day. Walking slowly away from massive explosions. Water slides that give you mega wedges, or the slip and slide that has rocks under it. Sitting 3 feet away from a 5-foot bonfire. Riding an elephant through the Thai jungle, ready to have your ass smashed against a wooden board over and over again with each step of this majestic creature for the next 3 hours? I sure hope so. After the 3 hours are up, and you've progressed approximately 100 feet forward, you can end your special day by observing a small Thai man angrily whipping said elephant for no apparent reason before it is locked back in its tiny cage and casts you one last sad sidelong glance as you walk away. Painting a wall, house, etc. I remember as a kid thinking that it would be a ton of fun to mess around with paint, but now that I do it as part of my job. Bartending. I've been doing it for a long time. I remember a time when it was fun, but for the most part, we never get to enjoy weekends or holidays. When we're off, everyone else is usually working or sleeping. We don't get paid days off or sick days. If we don't work, we don't get paid. So if a holiday like Christmas falls on a day that we normally work, we lose money. Our hours are terrible because very often we're asked to work days and nights and our schedules are always changing. When we sleep until noon, we're criticized for sleeping in all the time. We're very often asked to do much more than our job title demands. Maintenance, hosting, serving, managing, bookkeeping, cooking, security, etc. Because the bartender and servers are like our cheap laborers, we usually eat most of our meals standing up. Many of us have moderate to severe drinking problems. Maintaining relationships with anyone outside of the industry is difficult. Promiscuity is rampant. Eating habits are usually terrible. This is just a guess, but I would think most suffer from vitamin D deficiencies. There are many more, but listing them all is making me depressed. Traveling with work. You think sweet free hotel, I'm going to get drunk and put it on expenses. But no, you're knackered from traveling and meeting new people is hard work, so you just have a lonely couple of pints and watch crap telly in your room. Making a video for something seems glamorous and cool, but actually making it and editing everything has broken more people than I can count. Especially the editing. Long lonely hours of building each scene with little or no contact with another human. When you are working. Unemployment. When you are unemployed. Working. From the viewpoint of a child. Being an adult. Prince Charles was once quoted saying, "I hope you children have as much fun in childhood as we adults have in adultery." Working at a water park. No, overweight child. I do not have fun all day. Also, if there is a park employee at the top of a water slide and they are in the water, they are peeing in that water. For your information. Whipped cream play when getting down and dirty. The awful smell and stickiness after only a couple of minutes. Guacamole is the best. Living on the beach. It's fun for the first couple months but gets old really fast. Everything you own gets covered in sand. Everything that is metal on the house needs replaced every year, and it's not like a vacation when you have to work every freaking day. And it's always humid, even in the winter. Yuck. Oh, and everyone and their brother invite themselves to your house all the time. I do miss it sometimes, but 3 years later I'm still finding sand in my stuff. Dating a squirter. It was really fun the first few times. Then it became a chore. Washing sheets every few days and going through towels like crazy. Put a towel down has become a staple in my vocabulary. Riding the Ninja roller coaster at Six Flags over Georgia. I'm pretty sure you come out with a mild concussion. I rode it several times during my adolescence and always ended up with blurred vision and a migraine that lasted the entire day. When your parents say you're going to be doing something fun. Being a P-star, feeling good and looking good on camera isn't the same thing. Strip clubs, you're willingly paying for blue balls. Going on vacation with your young children. That looks awful. I never understood why my parents took me anywhere. I go on vacation now and see parents who look like they haven't slept in a year and are carrying around a huge bag full of toys or diapers. That's not vacation. You're just briefly hating your life in a different location. Freaking in the shower. I much prefer showering together and freaking afterwards. Having a large chest. Gentlemen, your appreciation for large breasts can be well appreciated, but coming home with a backache at the end of a day just isn't my style. Not to mention having a disproportionate chest to waist ratio totally throws off my ability to pick out a normal looking shirt. If only being able to stare at my own chest all day was worth it. This. Crop tops are either too small or baggy. Flowy shirts make you look fat. Any dress with a structured top is a no-go because what fits your waist leaves your boobs popping out of every opening. It's awful. So awful. Being single with no one telling you what to do. Eventually you just end up missing romantic relationships. I agree with you, but this works in both directions. I find that when I'm single, I miss the companionship and all the perks of a relationship. When I'm in a relationship, I miss playing video games for 16 hours straight in my underwear and having cheesesteaks and whiskey for every meal on the weekends. You give up something in either situation. Paddle boats that you rent at small lakes. Running. Every time I see someone out for a jog I think, boy, that must be enjoyable. I should run more. But then I remember I hate running. Clubs. New Year's freaking Eve. Yeah, they really dropped the ball on that one. Being infantry. Working at a stop. You've been visited by the good sleep oinker. You will be blessed with cozy, restful sleeps, but only if you comment sleep tight porker. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check out another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.